Hey campers, George here. When I was working on the video making this, which is I'm waiting for the dye, I said that I tried to make a knife sheath, a fixed blade, and it was so bad, the whole video was a disaster, I decided not to post it. I was sitting in the man cave looking at my disaster and I thought, you know what? I got something else I can do to this. It's going to mean a little bit of work and some fine tuning, but we'll get there. And what I'm talking about is this guy. This knife, a while ago, I made this handle. I bought the blank and made the handle. It's a care part, and I really like the care part. So I wanted to make a sheath for it, and I made this guy. Here's the wrong dye I bought. See how red it is? It's really bad. But I want, you know, the whole sheath was a disaster, so I just used that to see how it worked. I did some learning while I was doing this. And here are some of the things that happened. When you do a fixed blade knife, like this, you have to put a welt in it to protect the stitching and everything. I did that, measured it wrong, stitched it all in, trimmed it off, and the welt fell out. Not only that, when I was trying to shape it, the handle was all the way down here. And I was busy shaping and didn't pay attention, and the knife moved up. I have an unbalanced knife in my dangler. The actual dangler part and everything else, I learned a lot. I almost got it right. You can see how bad my sewing is back then. It has improved a little bit, but I made a dangler for it. I was pretty proud of that until I saw what I'd done. And I was like, that's it. It's a disaster. I got to get rid of it. Like I said, I was thinking, and I have another knife I made. This guy. It's an Opinel blade, and I made a custom handle for it to make a custom Puukko. Here's the sheath, and it goes in there pretty good, all the way down to there, and it's not overbalanced. The problem is too long. So I'm thinking I'm going to unpick all this, cut it back to where it should be, and put a welt in and restitch it, and maybe when I get the other dye, which is going to be an actual, it's chocolate is what I got, I'm going to put the chocolate in here, see what happens, and maybe I can salvage this. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work, but I'll have learned something. I glued it and put a welt in, okay? Now I'm looking at it, and when I put the knife in, I want it to go further in. And when I push further in, the stitching's too far apart. I think I'm going to try something. I think I'm going to re-wet this, clamp it down, and stab the knife in there and see if I can stretch it a little bit more. If not, I'm going to have to modify this thing. Hey, this is a trial. I want to see if I can fix a mess. Adapt. Water wasn't deep enough. So now we wait. Gonna set it outside. It's fairly warm outside. Sun shining. Put it out there and see if it'll help it to dry quicker. This is the problem with these projects and trying to film them in a timely manner. Just so that you know, when I'm doing stuff like this, I'm always looking for something else to do while I'm waiting on another project. For example, this one's a perfect one. I'm waiting for the die. I'm trying to stretch it. I'm going to have to re-glue it and reshape it. So it's a waiting game. Is it going to work? Have no idea. We can always hope and pray. Okay, so I let it dry a bit. I had to put that stitch on just to give me an indicator where I can go together with my stitching. It's going to be close and it's going to be really tight, but I'm hoping it'll stretch. If not, I'll just maybe cut that off there. I stitched it and I messed up. Allegedly I missed some spots and I don't know where. But let's see if the knife goes in. I want to really get it in there. Okay, back at it. I was out there mowing the lawn and whatnot and doing chores, and hey, the mailman arrived. Finally, the die is here. Can get on with this thing. I can't handle waiting. I got to do it now. So here it is here, and you can see I trimmed up the leather to shape to it, and I just edged it using that edger. Apparently I need practice on that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use that chocolate dye on this, and hopefully it'll hide this horrible red. So I'm using this Fiebings leather dye, and they have a bunch of different colors. This one here is chocolate. Going to give that a try. Have no idea how this is going to look. Just going to swat it on here. Huh. That's not bad. It looks like that dark oak. Huh. Actually, it looks pretty good. Maybe it'll work. Here goes nothing. Might have to put 2 coats on. Oops, forgot to cut that off. Kids are playing baseball out back next door. The dogs fetch the ball for them. Bird dogs, whatever you call them. So they like to go and get things. Make sure I get it everywhere and on there nice and thick. Don't have to go all the way in, nobody's going to see in there, so going to keep putting it on until it looks like it's not going to take anymore. Make sure you get it everywhere. Alright, there we go. Let's leave that to dry. Rub it down afterwards when we're done. And hopefully it'll look a lot better. I almost want to put this in there. Just so that it does, because it's wet now. I don't want it to lose its shape. Let's do the edging. See how flexible this is. Not good. You can see here how it makes a difference when you rub it in. Cleans it up and like seals it up. It's pretty cool. You don't even have to rub that hard. Oh, don't look too bad. Now, I like this chocolate. Yeah, this leather doesn't seem to hold its shape very well. Huh, maybe it needs to dry more. Let's take this off. If you're wondering why I have this on underneath, this stuff leaves glue on there and it's painful to get off. Stays on there pretty good. Much better. Next time, I'll wrap the whole knife. It was due for another coat anyway, so not gonna hurt it. Should be wearing gloves. Tut tut. I can feel that point. What do you do? When you get old, you forget things. So here it is here. And the dangler, it was a first for me. This was just a, like I said, was from a pack that I had for the strap that I don't use anymore, and actually the stitching on the pack came off. It's a little over the shoulder thing. But here it is here. I do like this chocolate. Well, the strawberry chocolate, I suppose you would call it, because it had the red background. But you can't really notice it. The stitching, unfortunately, didn't take, because it has wax on it. So, but I don't think it's a big deal. And my Opinel Puukko mod I did now has its own sheath, the knife, and it's a dangler. Just like that. I'd show you on a belt, but I'm not wearing any pants. Kidding. But I know it works because I tried it. And sorry, gonna have to take my word for it. What do you do? A redo. I've learned a lot doing this. I need to pay more attention. I tend to get into too much of a hurry and it gets me into trouble. What do you do? Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back again. Hopefully you won't have to wait that long for the stuff I need to do it. I got another project waiting for it as well that I can finish up now. Woot! There you go. My Puukko, kinda modified. You all be safe out there, especially when you're working with these guys. And this guy, that's an Opinel blade. You know it's sharp. Just saying. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.